Today in the crypto space, we see the market taking a bit of a hit. Bitcoin down approximately 2%, Ethereum below the $2,000 mark, down approximately 4%, and the rest of the crypto space. These altcoins a mix of green and red, but for the most part, a lot of dips. Solana, AVAX, Hyperliquid, CRO, and many others coming down to lower levels. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one project that got a massive upgrade today, and that project is called COTI. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome on the channel. We talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunity, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on with this market, because there's a bit of red right now. As we can see, the market cap falling approximately 4%. The trading volume here is not looking the worst, in the sense that it's a flatline. Okay, fine, we're flatline with trading volume, which means that there's not a lot of market participation in this move to the downside. However, it does look like it wants to roll to the upside. Guys, that's not a good look if that happens. Just keep in mind that's not a good look. In fact, we would have loved to see the volume actually drop as this is happening, because that means that it's not, most likely not going to be a sustainable move to downwards. However, guys, as we speak, we do see the market cap fall. Not a good look. And ultimately, Bitcoin rolling over here is not a good look. Ethereum, not a good look. And many others right now are coming down. Now, I'm not saying right now is the optimal opportunity to start shorting the market. This is not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that there could be a bearish bias in the next little while. So wait for some responses from the bulls, and then let's get some ideas of whether we should be shorting after that. Because if we get a bullish response where we start making a higher high, great. Guys, continuation up. However, if we get signs that the bulls are not able to continue the shorter term range, which was an upwards channel, if that can't happen, then all of a sudden, guys, we have no choice but to expect further downside. And of course, hedging our portfolio with shorts is the way to do it, guys. If you're looking for an exchange, there's KYC, no KYC exchange. I got a link in the description to many of them. Of course, we got BitNex, new exchange offering $50 to newcomers that deposit $250, and you get a $50 trading bonus to trade the way you like to trade, and you can practice trading risk-free with those $50, which is a great opportunity for newcomers. And then we have a lot of opportunities here, of course, for getting into trades, whether they be long or short on lower time frames. But ultimately, what we should be preparing for is the bias. Could we be looking for a change of character, perhaps on the 4-hour, and start seeing what Bitcoin can do? And is Bitcoin going to continue dragging down the market? And this is a bit of an issue, guys, because on larger time frames, Bitcoin is still on a downtrend. On shorter time frames, we saw Bitcoin grind to the upside in the last little while. But those grind to the upside, could be followed by a quick move down. And that quick move down could get a lot of people wrecked. So be careful out here getting overly bullish, and obviously be careful with getting overly bearish. For me personally, it's about being neutral at the current moment. Slowly DCAing weekly, getting to short-term trades, scalps on lower time frames, and getting in and getting out like a ninja. That way you don't have to make clear decisions at the current moment. Getting into bigger trades with higher leverage in the next little while could be a little bit risky. So keep in mind, as you can see today, we have a lot of red all of a sudden so quickly. A lot of projects coming down. You have Hyperliquid down approximately 15%. Guys, what a dip for Hyperliquid. Guys, I feel like I need to be accumulating here, because Hyperliquid at the end of the day is a decent project. And of course, a little bit of FUD, a little bit of this, a little bit of price action to the downside could give us opportunity, right? And we got to take full advantage of that opportunity. And like I said, guys, I think the market right now on average is at about 5% to the downside. Okay, it's not huge. I usually like buying into double-digit dips, right? Some projects are still showing strength. Sonic is still looking okay, and we got A few others. Algo's okay on a bit of a pullback, still moving to the upside, big picture, as you can see. And for the most part, that's the case throughout the market. Okay, guys, we got, a few dips more than others, but the reality is we're still okay. And we could still continue upwards if we start building a change of character on the higher time frames, particularly on the 4-hour. Guys, prepare for a dip. Okay, let's take a look at this price action, guys. I know you're here to talk about charts, so let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with Bitcoin. Ultimately, Bitcoin is a great leading indicator, but before we take a look at COTI, I definitely want to see what's going on here with Bitcoin. Bitcoin, at the end of the day, with this structure right here, with this scenario right here, you can see that the sell-off had to come in hot, and it did. And it did come in pretty good. Now, of course, we're talking about the 1 hour. Usually I'm looking at the daily, and if we look at the daily is giving us a big picture structure here. After a sell-off here, we can see that the trend is still to the downside very clearly. Now, do we continue down, sweeping all these little bottoms here, getting a few people liquidated that are in long positions? It could happen. Now, I'm not expecting major liquidations. I want to see a bearish response. Now, the question is this the beginning of the bearish response? We're overbought with regards to volatility. Momentum is stuck in the chop zone. I'm expecting daily momentum to continue up eventually. But in the meantime, I want to see a bearish response. Now, it could happen on the daily. Honestly, we've been overbought here for a good while. And overbought means that eventually we should come down to test lower levels, hanging out here. And then eventually, maybe let's see what kind of bearish response we get. Ideally, we don't make a lower low. We come down for a higher low, and then we start moving to the upside once again. I would be quite interested to see what happens on a reset of this volatility, and then continue to the upside. Okay, so keep that in mind. So big picture bullish. Now all of a sudden we start talking about this dip. How do we, what do we plan here for this dip? You can see that was a beautiful double top scenario. Guys, I've been itching to get into shorts, and this is where we should be getting into shorts. Quick stop losses up here. Keep in mind, there's a lot of retail traders that put stop losses up there. So there is an incentive, for market makers to cause that to come back up and still maintain this divergence. As you can see, the momentum currently is on the 4-hour in a downtrend. We could still get a pop to the upside and still come down and maintain downtrend. Look at the EMAs, red histogram bars, momentum and trend is starting to show weakness that we're potentially coming down. So again, if you see this volatility line, maybe a bullish response to see what happens on an impulse and to see how high we go on the next impulse. We could even make a lower high here, guys. That would be super, super bearish. A lower high here on Bitcoin would be really, really bad, because it would confirm that we're now entering a downtrend right into this, which means that usually we would have a slow grind to the upside, and then as soon as a confirmation of a breakdown happens, we get a quick move down and get all kinds of people wrecked. People that put stop losses and got into entries here, all these people would get wrecked, stop hunted, liquidated, and all kinds of stuff happening on there. Tons of emotion, right? So this is what I'm looking at in the immediate short term, is again the 4-hour potentially showing us a continuation of momentum to the downside. Now, what I see is the 1 hour right now is in full control. Okay, just keep in mind the 1 hour is in full control. Momentum still can get oversold. It's in a downtrend. As you can see, we got overbought, and the 1 hour is definitely in control. Now, again, we want to see a bullish response. Again, we're seeing this pattern across many time frames, 4-hour, even the daily. I want to see a bullish response. If the bullish response gives me a lower high right around, I would say 87,200, more or less right around here, guys, entering shorts is the ideal scenario. Okay, entering shorts is the ideal scenario. Why? Because you got to confirm lower high, you got to confirm lower low. It's most likely we're going to come down for another lower low, lower highs, lower lows. The trend is your friend. And guys, like I mentioned, we can take an express trip all the way down and start really coming down to get a lot of this happening. And if that's the case, this is where you need to start building hedges against this dip. Now, of course, none of this is guaranteed, guys. There's always possibilities of a continuation to the upside. However, I keep looking at the big picture. The big picture on the daily time frame is that Bitcoin is still in a downtrend. Could we continue moving up bullish? For sure. Why not? But statistically speaking, at this current zone, guys, there's an incentive, massive incentive to hunt all kinds of liquidity trapped up into this grind to the upside. So I want to keep that in mind. Now, how is that going to reflect for the altcoins? What is it going to look like for COTI? Well, COTI, at the end of the day, has some bullish news. Catalysts are for sure cause projects to go against, even macro conditions, or even, leading indicators like Bitcoin and so on, right? If Bitcoin is falling, falling, you would expect COTI to fall. But with good news like this, COTI V2 mainnet is now live, which is great, guys. You know that I've been following COTI for the last little while, and I did do a deep dive on it. Go check out that video, deep dive, giving you all the fundamentals, all the details that you need to know about what COTI is all about. And the fact is that this upgrade is a really bullish upgrade, and I am quite bullish on the project, and the privacy narrative has a lot of room for potential growth in the future. So I'm interested in COTI. I'm interested where it goes, and ultimately how this upgrade to V2 mainnet is going to impact its ability to raise liquidity, because now EVM compatibility definitely provides options for the project, and so on and so forth. So great stuff for COTI. Now, as far as price goes, like I mentioned, is COTI going to be able to withstand this dip? Guys, I doubt it. And I'm not talking bearish about COTI, because you guys know I'm bullish on COTI. The reality is the wrath of Bitcoin and the total market cap falling is quite heavy on all projects, particularly altcoins. As you can see, COTI wasn't ready to start moving today. And of course, we got a bit of an issue here with this quick wick. Now, you know, there are a couple of shorts here that did not enter. Of course, market makers, you know, whales out there trying to enter shorts, enter shorts, enter shorts. Now, obviously, there's a little bit more, and there's an incentive when we do get back up here to kind of fill those shorts. However, you know, we are currently, you know, somewhat of in a downtrend, and you can see that, you know, we made a slightly lower high. If you include the wicks, it's a bit of a channel, not even, because if you look at this, okay, if you include the wicks, we're in a sideways channel. Range trading at the moment is probably the safest way to do it, to be honest, even on Bitcoin, because as it creates that distribution at the top on the 4-hour, you know, distributions are pretty sideways, with liquidation hunts on the tops and on the bottoms, of course, and stop hunts and all of that. But the reality is, in an accumulation or distribution, it could turn out being very sideways. The bearish case scenario here for COTI, and of course we got to talk about that, is that we go sideways here for a little bit. After we go sideways, we start to, you know, realize that this impulsive move, consolidation, and then potentially another impulsive move is very possible to come back down to range lows, given the fact that there's a bit of weakness down here in the volume. And of course, you know, this is the way it happens. A break of structure to the downside could definitely happen. However, guys, when you see such projects getting bullish upgrades with sentiment, and we see Bitcoin still potentially fighting for that reversal, and we see altcoins such as COTI currently testing very close to the bottom of the range, I would say DCAing is the best strategy, and slow and steadily on spot. Buy a little bit here, buy a little bit here, and buy a little bit here, and call it a day, and be done with it, and accumulate, because ultimately, if this happens, you're able to get an average price at about 5 cents, and upon a move to the upside, and you know, reclaiming previous price action, whether we get to about 20 cents or even higher, 26 cents, and of course, we're not, you know, negating the fact that we can reclaim all-time highs and get into price discovery here, guys. You remember, like, you know, COTI did very, very well for my portfolio in previous cycles, and it could definitely hit, you know, $1, $2, $3, and if that's gonna happen, guys, we could definitely you know, improve our entry at this level, but don't try to pick a bottom. That's the reality, because you can see there's a lot of upside potential just reclaiming previous price action. So what we have to understand is that these spot bags, in fact, are lucrative. They're the most important options right now that you may have without taking too much risk. You can start using leverage and all of that, of course, but we don't know what kind of bottom we're in right now, because really lower lows on the price action, both on Bitcoin and on COTI, and the market in general, sentiment wise, macro conditions, and so on and so forth, is not the most bullish. So we got to be aware of what we're dealing with at the current moment. Although I am bullish on COTI, I just want to make sure that I'm able to accumulate at any price that is lower right now, because ultimately that's the way you're going to average your cost a lot lower, and basically be able to accumulate much more at lower levels. That way you're going to get discounts throughout this dip if we continue coming down. So I'm interested. Keep in mind that I got my first buy orders right into here last week, the week before, and I'm going to keep on accumulating if we get rejected and coming down for another lower low. If not, I'm happy with my positions. I also got into a bit of a position right into this zone a while back, so I'm accumulating, guys. I'm accumulating bottoms and looking for take profit opportunities way above this level. Okay, so we're looking pretty good. Now let's take a look at oscillators here for a second. The daily hasn't really gotten oversold a tad. We could be going overbought, And I don't like the fact that we're already overbought right here on volatility. Okay, volatility needs to get oversold in order for me to be very, very confident, or much more confident for a continuation. This right now looks too hot. So a bearish response. Let's see what kind of lower low we get. This is the daily. I'm not willing to go long right now because volatility is right up there. We could hang out here. I understand that, and I understand that momentum is definitely an uptrend. But because we didn't get oversold, the possibility of coming down and getting oversold is still there. However, I am on the fence about that as well, you know, within range and probability, because we did tag that oversold condition. So I'm about 50-50 on that. I like the uptrend, but again, I'm waiting for a complete bearish response here to go long. I'm not going to go long when this is overbought like that. Okay, we didn't even get green expansions like we've done right here. I want this green expansion. I want to see a green expansion, and then I'm more and more interested. Right now, we didn't even get one, so we have time. We have time to let momentum reset a little bit, volatility and so on. And if you look at the 4-hour, okay, it's also very overbought. You know, maybe we get that bearish response so that we can go long again if we're going to go long. If you're going to go short, I understand, because again, the daily is overbought and we might come down for a bit of a dip on the daily. The 4-hour, okay, I understand. Maybe we come down for a reset on there, but I would be quick. I would be a ninja on these guys. Quick in and out. As you can see, we're a bit of a rollover here because, of course, Bitcoin is not looking the strongest at the current moment, and altcoins are risk-on assets, which are the altcoins of this market, are going to take a bigger hit. And you can see that we're not even oversold on the 15-minute on COTI, which means that we could still, you know, sell off a little bit. And then to pepper it all in, the reality is that there's a buy the rumor, not buy the rumor, but maybe sell the news event, given that now that their upgrade is official and completed, maybe this is the thing where people now are saying, you know what, the bullishness is over, given the fact that, you know, the news has already passed, and now let me take some profit. So this could be also a profit-taking scenario. I could see the price falling a little bit more here, guys. So be very careful with COTI. However, have a big long-term perspective. DCA, guys, on COTI or any other project that you have in mind at the current moment, we are reaching bottoms and we're reaching good levels where we can see pivot point structures. They're not here yet, but they will be here. And little by little, you want to have that bag packed. All right, guys. So if I've offered you any value here in this video, do the channel a massive favor. Slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.